Welcome to my channel. This is Shamelessly Creative. I'm Ari, and today what I have for you, Artsnacks unboxing. I purchased some of these in the Artsnacks shop so I could try them out and get a sense of the value for these. I got 3 of these on sale, and so you'll be seeing the unboxings of each of those and what I do with the supplies inside, and we'll talk about the supplies and my opinions and ideas on them, and maybe some helpful hints. Again, I just wanted to try these boxes to see if I thought the Artsnack was of value for what you get for the $24 that the Artsnack is. They also have the Artsnacks Plus now, which comes with a surface. Some of these smaller ones may or may not come with a surface to use the supplies on. Small Artsnacks box is probably equivalent to the Scrawler box in size and what's included. However, you don't get an inspirational art piece in the Artsnacks, so you'll have to decide, watch some of my videos, because I do like the Scrawler box, to compare value in your mind and what you need the supplies for and what you're excited to kind of see come in the mail. Artsnacks has the shop where you can buy previous boxes. Sometimes they run out, so they aren't always available. That's the plus of having the subscription over waiting to see if they have a box after you've seen an unboxing video, is they may or may not have them based on how many subscriptions they have sold or how fast they sell out of the shop after they've been released. It's kind of hit or miss. I picked out 3 watercolor type boxes because that's what I'm most interested in. But no, in the subscription, you're going to get a variety of items. So even though the 3 videos you'll see on Artsnacks through my channel are going to be watercolor related, that isn't all that comes in the Artsnacks. That's just 3 odd months I ordered just to be able to test out what I thought of the box. So sometimes it's just markers or other types or acrylics, things like that. So let's see what's inside, shall we? So this is the July 2019 Artsnacks box and everything. So we have our Crybaby bubblegum, very sour. So shall we see what's inside? Ooh, look at what we have. All right, where do we start? Well, we have July 2019 Artsnacks sticker. You get one of these in every box. So that's how it looks for this month. We have the Daniel Smith Extra Fine Watercolor in Phthalo Blue green shade. So that's great. I wanted to try Phthalo Blue. I did get some Phthalo Blue in another kit, but that was the red shade. So this is the green shade. Phthalo Blue, Daniel Smith, artist grade watercolors. They retail for $9.42 to $12.60 each for these colors. And this is a 5 milliliter or a 0.17 ounce. So this is Pyrrole Scarlet, the Daniel Smith Extra Fine Watercolor. Still a really nice size to try out. Daniel Smith paint is a great idea. It's great for this box. We have a Pigmographic 1 archival ink. So 1. And that's the tip on that. We have a general sketch and wash. And we have a Princeton Aqua Elite size 8 brush. See if we can get this open. So I can show you that brush tip. Oh, that's a nice brush. So we have an 8 round Princeton Aqua Elite watercolor brush. So the general sketch and wash pencil is $1.49 retail. So you can create dramatic washes of gray and black using the water-soluble soft black graphite pencil with a brush and some water. So that'll be interesting. And the Princeton Aqua Elite Series 4850 synthetic Kolinsky sable brush, round size 8, retails for $21.95. So this seems like a really good value. Just the brush alone is almost the cost of the box, and then if you add in those Daniel Smith watercolors, that really, then we're over almost close to $40 for this box. So this was a really good value for the things we got this month. So again, this was the July 2019 Artsnacks. I purchased this from their shop myself to try out the Artsnacks to see what kind of value I would get in a few different boxes. I kind of focused on the watercolor again because that's just a medium I prefer. I'm really happy with the items in this box. I'm trying this out to see if it's worth getting a subscription to the Artsnacks or whether I'm happy with my other art subscriptions. So this was a good trial. Let's swatch. I think that would be great to see what we can do with these. I'll have to find a sheet of watercolor paper so we can swatch these out. So I'll be right back and we'll start swatching and then we'll make some art. Thanks for joining me and let's get to it. All right, we're going to swatch out some paint. Sometimes these can come running out kind of like that one. So you have to be careful when opening some of the tube paints because you can get a lot more than you bargained for. Let's start with our Pigmographic 1 2019 Artsnacks. So smears immediately. Smears a couple seconds late. Let's move over here. Okay, so maybe 30 seconds and it's dry. So not right away. Again, there's your nib on the 1 graphic. Next is the general sketch and wash. Gonna swatch out a little bit more. And again, this was an 8 round by Princeton Aqua Elite. And let's pull one of these and see what it does. Oh, that's interesting. I'm liking that. What about you? That is really cool. Let's see what it does over my little sketch. Just do half of it. So depending on the amount of water you use, so it totally took out some of my drawings. Right through here, I could lift that off the paper. It kind of smudged in here where I pulled the first time, and in here I just kind of let the water sit so you can still make out the lines. That could have some really interesting outcomes. I'm liking that. Generals let's see, Sketch and Wash. So one would have to be a little bit careful with how much water you place over this and how much you want it to spread. But that's a lot of fun. I'm really liking a lot of the pencils on the market now that do this Sketch and Wash effect. I'm really happy to be able to try that. Let's move this out of the way. And here's our colors. The first is the Pyrrole Scarlet, the Daniel Smith Extra Fine Watercolor Artist Grade. And again, 5 ml sample, or I shouldn't say sample, you can buy them in that size. First I'm going to swatch it straight. So I'm not sure what color you're picking up on the screen, but I would say that's somewhere between a red and an orange. So let's add water. Let's add water. I think I may try that one more time. Let's do it full strength again. As I said, sometimes it can be user error. So sometimes I want to be sure. I guess another way we could do that. All right, well, you get the gist of that. Let's try the phthalo blue-green shade. Let's see what happens here. Ooh, look at that brilliant blue. So my paper's sort of buckling. Add water. A lot of people with the phthalos, phthalo green, phthalo blue, worry about staining because they are a high staining paint. I know that M. Graham seemed to come out really well from off my hands and off my spoon palette with goop, the orange goop, if you're familiar with that. We'll maybe see how this does. One nice thing about the Daniel Smith Artist Watercolor is, as you can see, they're very vibrant. Many artists love these colors. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this box. The value for the July Artsnacks 2019 box is pretty good. We were at around $40. Not sure what we'll make with this yet, but I really like these colors. And of course, as you can see, it was kind of maybe red, white, and blue theme. See the nice hues change. Go from this dark brilliant to this just baby blue. That's really beautiful. Oh, I just thought of something. Let these down a little bit. That's another option for us is, let's see what we get. Well, I guess we're going to get kind of a gray purple. That's kind of an interesting shade of purple. So that might be a color choice for our final art project too. Let's try it again. A little more red. Kind of like that. That's kind of like a wine color. So remember, even with these small sample boxes, you're not limited to the 2 colors. So think of all the things you could do with this. You could do a monochrome painting with this kind of purple shade or wine. I don't know, it's kind of a wine burgundy shade. You could do a monochrome with the red, one with a blue, and then you could do a combination. So see how the colors kind of mix themselves here. So we're not just limited to the red, blue. We definitely can mix items within our Artsnacks. Let's see what happens when we add. So look at that. interesting kind of blood red color. See, isn't this fun? Like, so here I've just spent a few minutes and I've been able to experiment with what they've given me and found some really interesting possibilities. So let's try that with the blue. See what happens. Because isn't that what it's about, is playing around? I kind of think this is my favorite part. Sometimes more than making the art. Is just seeing the possibilities and knowing the possibilities. Now check out that gray. That's fun. All right, well, that's it for the swatching of the July 2019 Artsnacks. Again, look at our wonderful supplies. This is what came in this month's box, and this unboxing is happening in November 2019 because I purchased from their shop. There are extra boxes for each month. You can usually find them on their website under the Artsnacks shop. I wanted to try this out for myself before I subscribed to a longer subscription. And first I wanted to see if the Artsnacks box was a good value. They do have the Artsnacks Plus now, which comes with a surface. Sometimes you get little sample papers in the smaller $24 Artsnacks, but for, I believe it's $39 for the Artsnacks Plus box, you actually get a full surface included. For me, I wanted to just try this. This is the price range of the Scrawler box, and it has about the equivalent supplies. With the Scrawler box, you get the candy and a sticker, and then a few art supplies. I think maybe the only downfall I can see so far to the Artsnacks is they don't provide at least one piece of paper, at least not in this box, and no inspirational art. And so that could take it up a notch. But as I said, this box was $24, and I think so far it's a good value. I've had fun testing the supplies out, seeing what they can do, and now I want to make some art with you. See if we can't make something really fun with these. So I'm excited. I'm liking, I have a few Daniel Smith colors, so I am familiar with the watercolor, and I have several on my art palettes. So it's not that I was unfamiliar, I just wanted to see what I would get in the Artsnacks box. But this general sketch and wash, I'm really liking it. The brush was really nice. It has the nice snap, and look at that tip after using it. And you know, it's like, I've tried to dry it off. It's pretty dry, so it holds its point, and that's kind of important in a brush, especially for watercolor. So I hope you enjoyed this part, and now let's get on to making some art with it. Thank you. All right, so we have our swatches, and now we just need to think of some ideas. Oh, I have a love-hate relationship with hands. I guess I can just be really impatient. So that's one reason it's a struggle for me. You know, you have that idea in your head how it should look, and then when it doesn't turn out that way. But like I said, most of the time it's It's like I like to say, user error. I'm a really impatient artist. I want to see my creation come to life. I almost feel like the thumbs were there. It's a little bit better. This is only a sketchbook, so I don't know why I'm putting that much effort into that hand. See the problem I'm seeing? See how nice and long this arm is? So stubby. So, and that doesn't, see, we put all the effort into that hand, and now we can't even use it. Oh, I love her other arm. This is so frustrating. So another thing I tell myself when I get like this is to relax. When I stress about being perfect, that's when it starts kind of going wrong. This is just a sketch to kind of try to make use of these colors. I kind of like both these ideas. Let's see if we now put that shirt on her. Maybe the arm will make a little bit more sense. I'm just thinking just a simple dress, kind of like a t-shirt dress. Both of those ideas. If you remember the general sketch and wash, I'm just using some of my multi-liners, the red and blue, for just to get a sense of how I want to use these colors. But let's see how this, I like that. I'm having a bit of a love affair with these water graphite type pencils. Note to self, multi-liners are not waterproof, but I actually kind of like the effect that's having. Thinking of the blue and red. So as you can see, the paper's buckling a little bit, but for a sketchbook, it really isn't that much. So it's one of the reasons I like the Seawhite sketchbook, is I can add a little bit of water and it holds up pretty well. So I think we have our ideas down for the July 2019 Artsnacks. I think we'll go with one of those ideas. So we just did the unboxing and now we're gonna do the Artsnacks demo. So again, this is the July 2019 Artsnacks box. We did our swatching and I'm just getting set up here. I'm going to be using the Be Creative Bee Paper Company watercolor paper. You get 30 sheets of 100% cotton paper for watercolor. So that will be the paper I have right here that we'll be doing the artwork on. I also just did a little video on the Huion LED light pad, and so I did my pre-sketch from my sketchbook. I'll show you an update of that sketchbook. We did some preliminary sketches in the early part of this video. After I shut off the video, I kind of played around a little bit more. I knew the direction I wanted to go in with it. I knew what I liked about the drawings I did, but they still weren't the idea that was in my head. And this one, so sometimes you'll see on my channel, my patience isn't what it should be for an artist. And when I'm in a hurry, my art looks a little bit more simple. When I'm in a slow creative mood, things usually turn out really well. I tend not to really be in that latter one very often, where I'm patient and just wanting to be creative. Hurry because I want to get the idea in my head out on paper, and so I'm hurrying to see it, to see it come to life on the paper. And usually for me anyway, that's a very slippery slope, because that's not the most efficient way to make what's in my mind visible, and it usually doesn't turn out quite right. What I love about my sketchbook is that I do have the opportunity to go back and fix things if I want to. If I'm not enjoying how something looks, I can always go back. Here's my updated page from when I had just done these two, and I really liked her. However, after the video, I just started playing around with it a little bit, and then she came out, and then there's two more little kind of random sketches. I like her vibe, and that's the one. If you want to see me trace it onto paper, just check out the Huion Light pad video. You'll see how I got it onto this paper. But now we're going to try out these art supplies and make a piece of art. Like I said, as you remember, I tested out the Pigma Graphic one with the archival ink, and as you notice, it smeared immediately, and first couple seconds or so, but maybe by 30 seconds it was not smearing so much. The general sketch and wash, I'm really loving this. I've kind of been playing with it, and you'll see what we can do with that in here. And then we have our Daniel Smith Phthalo Blue that came in the Artsnacks, and the Pyrrole Scarlet that also came in the Artsnacks. Let's get this started. I'm excited. I'll be using the Princeton Round Aqua Elite that also came in the Artsnacks. You remember this was a $21.95 value. I'm really liking this brush too. Of course, I love Daniel Smith watercolors. It's one of my main palettes, uses Daniel Smith watercolors. So of course, I mean, and getting these in a snack box, how great is that? I think that's well worth the value of this box. Those range from $9.42 to $12.60 retail for this size. So between this and the brush, this Artsnacks has more than paid for itself. And then you still get, you know, your Graphic One Pigma pen, your sketch and wash, your sticker, your menu, and your snack. Because they didn't include paper, that's why I'm using the Be Creative Be Paper Watercolor Journal series. You know, your results might vary depending on what type of paper you use. I should point out, I think I did in the first portion of the video, is this is also by the Be Paper company, but it's a little bit thinner professional series, and it's 93-pound paper. It's a medium rough surface, but you know, it's not saying whether it's 100% cotton paper. So I can't tell you that. Nowhere. I believe most Be Paper company paper is 100% cotton, but I could be wrong. I guess just the ones I've purchased, the company is intriguing, so I've picked up several. This one came in a pallet full packs. So that's where I got this one. But the Be Creative watercolor paper that I'm using today is 140-pound paper, and you get 30 sheets. And this is the Art Journal series, which I've been swatching out some of my colors. I love to swatch. It's just so beautiful. So that's what I've been doing so far in this journal, is just swatching out different things. And technically that's, I guess, what I've been doing with this for some of the Artsnacks and palette full pack. As you can see, this paper warps a little bit more, so we'll see how this one holds up. No more putting this off. Let's get creative. So what's interesting about this General's Sketch and Wash is I can use it both as a sketch pencil, but I also can use it its own medium within the artwork. I can use it to shade the colors I put down. Look how nice of a point this watercolor brush comes to. Again, this is the Princeton Aqua Elite Round 8. This has become one of my new favorites because I can come down to just a small spot and come close, but the tip just stays pointy. So this worked on my earlier little sample, but you know how they say, you know, off camera things work fine, on camera they don't always turn out. So let's see what happens. So for this, I just want a nice background pattern on her kimono. And I'm only doing a section at a time because I don't want the overlap. And because we have some space between, we have this arm that's coming down, but it gives us a little border that we can come down here and let this portion. So again, this is the July 2019 Artsnacks box. I went on their site when you can probably still get it. I went on their site to try out Artsnacks. I subscribed to Paletful Packs and Scrawlrbox, and I wasn't sure about Artsnacks, so I thought, well, why don't I just try some of their past boxes and see how I feel about them before I subscribe. That's what I did. So I knew what was in the boxes before I opened them, so that was not as fun as I find, you know, when I get the new one in the mail from the other companies. I'll have a chance to open one of these new soon, actually probably next week. I really am liking the three I picked up. This is just the first video of one of the Artsnacks boxes I picked up. I picked up 3, and then after doing the unboxings, I decided, you know what? And they have a really good sale going on right now for 30% off your first box or the previous boxes. So you can go on their site, buy a previous box, and get 30% off, and then go back on and get 30% off your first subscription box. So for January, you could get your next box for 30% off. So if you've ever been thinking of trying getting that first box for about a little less than $16, may just be the chance to try one of these out. My goal is just to make kind of a pattern on this. I'm going to put a pattern over this one as well. I just wanted to play with the colors in this. Since we have a really limited palette, I thought, you know, how can I make the most of this and get a really pretty painting out of it? We'll see how that end result turns out. Yep, that's still wet. So I'm going to pause the video and let this dry. All right, this is seeming somewhat dry now. The smaller space, I need to be a little bit careful because we're getting some bleeding, a little feathering into each other, and then we're going to end up with something more purple. Maybe I'm going to wait a little bit. Show you this part. I want to drop in some of that red, a little bit more water, that color. And I'm dropping the color in at the ends here to hopefully give a little satiny look, but So see, then I can start reaching into that dark gray graphite and start to shade that. Gives a nice little shadow effect, which I particularly like. I'm not sure if you do, but I just think it adds that nice little shadow dimension without having to go back in and put the color, you know, like add some other color in to kind of make that shadow, because it's already, the pigment's already on the paper. Same here. So notice that point with this Princeton Aqua Elite brush. As I said, I'm just loving it. Picked up mostly the color. See, and I can smooth that line out. Whether or not all the Artsnacks boxes are such a wonderful array of products, that I don't know yet. But what I do know is I feel like I got some really interesting supplies to try. I use Daniel Smith as one of my main color palettes, so that wasn't anything new to me, but what I found intriguing is that at the cost for these smaller Artsnacks, there is an Artsnacks Plus box, but in their $24 box, you are getting some high quality art supplies. And from what I've seen, the quality is, you know, you're getting a lot of these items in the box. So I feel like, you know, they're not shortchanging you on anything, but, you know, like you're not going to get that surface to try out, which, you know, is nice. But if you're an artist, I'm sure you have some paper around the house. However, as I found with last month's Scrawler box, I was really happy with the wallpaper that for marker paper. It was excellent, excellent quality. No bleed through. So that is kind of nice to be able to try out some of the different papers and be able to decide what you like and what you don't like and what you're going to use for your own art practice. And that may be a bonus to get the Artsnacks Plus if you want to try out different surfaces. Once in a while in the smaller boxes, they may include, you know, a paper the size. One of the other boxes will be trying, has some little papers in it with some watercolors. So I feel both ways about that. You know, I like trying out new paper, but I'm not sure that it's worth it for me to pay the extra money for that box, you know, to get the paper. I really like these small boxes and getting to try, or having the ability to try the art supplies more so than I really care about the paper, because in this case I'm using something I know I already like, and trying supplies on paper I already know how it reacts to watercolor or marker, etc. I don't know, for me the Plus box isn't worth getting the paper. I just want to try whatever art supplies they're putting out. So I'm more excited about the art supplies than I am paper, and for me that extra money for the Plus box is better spent getting my favorite item that was in the box or more of it. So how do you feel about that? You can comment below if you've tried these and what your thoughts are on the difference between the two and whether you prefer one over the other. But I cannot be sure which box I decided to try with the discount code. I'm just going back over that because I want a little shine. How do you feel about art subscription boxes in general? Are you for? Do you think they would help your creativity? Or do you think it's something that is kind of a waste of money, that you could just buy the items yourself and just buy specific items? For me, these have given me a way to be creative in a very limited way that I may not have experimented with before receiving these art subscription boxes. I don't think I would have done a limited palette like this. You know, I would just create the art I wanted to create. I'm still creating the art I want to create, so but it's challenging me to choose a picture that I want to create with, in this case, a very limited palette of 3 colors and still achieve the results I want. So I feel like it's a creative challenge that helps me become a better artist overall. And I think these would be fun for a family. You know, you could put the palette out and everybody can sketch and use the paint. You might have to get a couple more paintbrushes, but how fun would that be as a family activity night? And, you know, maybe you only do it once a month, or, you know, once every few months. You could just go to their shop and purchase 1 box and do it as a family activity and see how it goes. I imagine that children would love that art interaction with their parents. Now, while this is still wet, I'm going to still go in and drop in some more red. This is the Pyrrole Scarlet in this box. This one turned out a little bit more smooth. To achieve this brighter color, I'm basically going into straight paint. So while that dries, let's go on to the hair. And I want to show you how nicely, in fact, I'm going to go in and kind of do a little deeper lines on this, just to get some more color onto the surface. I'm not sure, I may need to add more color if I have too much shine. But let's see how that looks. So that's all I've used, is that general sketch and wash for the hair. And again, I'm kind of trying to gently go in, and I have too much water on my... And we're kind of pulling the water. Little hair. Little hair strands. I think this is fun. I'm really liking this graphite pencil. I think it's a lot of fun. There, what do you think of that? I'm still learning with this product. I've never used it before, so overall, I really like it. Maybe a few more wispies in there. Hair, sometimes just struggle with it. Making it look realistic, or I don't know, I guess not necessarily going for a realistic look, but I want it to look like hair, not just a big black blob on her head. So when it comes to the face and using this, I'm a little scared how it'll turn out. I really just want to keep the color on some of these just right where it is. So I'm just slightly going over to add water to darken it. I guess I'm not 100% sure how long this will move around. You know, how much will it stay moving? trace over that, just so are you seeing kind of how neat this watercolor or this sketch and wash is? I'm really liking it. Probably said that 100 times already. I can come in and the shading is already built in for me. And if it's not enough, I can always come in and add a little bit more with the pencil. Right, let's see, where are we at? All right, this other arm of the kimono is ready. It's going to be a little bit tricky because we have the hand kind of overlapping the shoulder. Remember, with watercolor, color goes where the water flows. So we'll do our best to try to just keep it where we want it. Again, I'm using almost straight color. I apologize if sometimes I just stop talking. I am so used to being in my own head when I'm creating that it's not quite as conducive to videos. So here I'm just going in with that phthalo blue just for the inside of her kimono. I really love seeing people posting to these challenges with the art subscription boxes. This one being Artsnacks. They have at the bottom, take the Art Snack Challenge, use all of the products in your box to create an original piece of art, snap a picture of your artwork and share it on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram with the hashtag Artsnacks Challenge. Because you can see so many other people's ideas with this limited palette from the July 2019 Art Snack box. It's just interesting, at least I find it interesting. I don't know, I guess the interesting thing is I don't like to create something that somebody already has created. For Inktober, I was kind of anal about trying to come up with the weirdest idea or an odd idea if I could for the prompt. So the same for these boxes. I tend not to want to look and see what somebody else has created because it seems to limit my ideas. But as soon as I have my idea, I kind of go out there and see if anybody else has already done something similar. It just seems, I know that sounds funny, but I check to see what's been done. And then if I see something too similar to my idea, then I don't do it. I think it was a little too soon to go in here because I have some bleeding across there. And by bleeding, I mean it's kind of the paint feathers into the wet areas, the paper. So did you see that? I'm able to use that. See, I stopped talking in the middle of a thought. I use that Sketch and Wash to kind of bring in a little edge to the shirt, or the kimono in this case. A little not happy accident. So again, I'm starting to be impatient and it's not paying off. I'm excited to see this done. And so one way to control that is it's going to go where the water is or any damp areas. You can kind of stop it by where it's headed. So we're going to pause a minute so I don't totally ruin this. Color over that before that dries with such an obvious blob. And hopefully it'll look like shading instead. Alright, I'm going to leave it alone before I wreck it. Be right back. Now I'm going to try to come back. So I'm going over the dry watercolor paper. I'm putting the next little layer of color. And once I kind of have my star shape, I go drop in a little bit more color. I really do want this to be vibrant. Her mood isn't vibrant. I don't really know why I made her kind of sad. But I knew I kind of wanted that darker look and then a brighter kimono. I'll keep an eye on these so that I'm still catching them while they're wet. So this is the July 2019 Artsnacks box. So I am kind of going with a more July kind of stars theme. I originally thought about just doing a little scarf with stars, but I thought this would be cute. You can just keep dropping color into these stars until they're as bright and cheerful as you want them to be. And that's what I was aiming for, is even though her mood is down, I want the colors to be vibrant, cheerful. Had I known how fun these little Artsnacks would be, I would have asked it for a gift from my husband eons ago. However, I didn't know I would enjoy them so much. What do you think? Should we throw in some blue stars? I don't want to wreck it, but let's try a couple. What do you think? So just be careful that you're not going over or near an area that's already wet with something else. Again, this blue is phthalo blue. Not perfect, but a little bit better. So I'm ready for that to dry. I almost went in there with paint. That would have not, again, been a very happy accident. So what are you thinking about this pencil? This graphite water soluble pencil? You can leave a comment below. See, it kind of softens that little line, that outline. I'm not always sure if it's in a good way or a bad way. But remember, we also have the Pigma pen, so we might end up going over that with that later. Same thing, I'm going to come in here and just slightly go over that line. See, look at that tip. I know, I get excited about the weirdest things, but having your watercolor brush come to a tip like that so you can use it to just stay on a line and urge your water or your pigment is just, I can't tell you, it's one of those greater things in life. Again, I'm being impatient, so I may have some spread. I don't know why I can't just wait. Be patient. I really like it. So when I said, you know, that the image on paper is at least matching more closely to the image I had in my head. And I think that's where, as artists, we get in that, do I say funk? When we think we make bad art, what I think we really mean is we have this image in our head of what we're trying to create. And when it doesn't end up on paper close to that image, we're frustrated. And then that's when we say, I can't draw, I make bad art. This is bad, bad, bad. The only thing that's bad about it is it's not matching up to your expectations. We see the flaws in what we do, definitely a lot faster than we see what is working, and other people don't know what we were trying to create or that we were trying to create anything different than what's showing up on the page. And someone can love something you've done and you can think it's horrible. So keep that in mind, that when you think something of yours is bad or didn't turn out because it didn't turn out to the image in your head, that's all it is. is just you didn't meet the expectations. Maybe your skills aren't at that point. During Inktober, I made sketches that I never inked because I didn't have the skills yet in ink, or sometimes even just in the sketch, to create what I actually wanted to. One example is I was trying to create a snow globe for the word snow. Had no idea how to make it look like a handprint on the inside of the globe, and let alone then pull that off in black and white line art. So that, you know, I made the sketch, and the sketch is close to what I was thinking of, and later on when I have greater skill, I will go back and attempt that. But for now, it's staying a pencil drawing. But it's in my sketchbook. I did it anyway, and that's one of my mottos. Can't do it, but gonna do it anyway. And it's in there, and now I won't forget that idea. On a day I'm not feeling creative, maybe I will pull that out and go, let's try this. Let's see if I can do it now. Look at this pencil. Like I said, I'm just so thrilled with this. You know, trying to paint this would be a nightmare. But because my lines are already there, I can just use my lines to kind of shade and finish the fingers. Hands, I'm gonna do a challenge sometime soon on hands, because hands, hair, we'll probably do it all on this channel. That was the other thing I learned during Inktober. I could see what I did well, and I could see what I needed work on. And hair and hands, definitely two areas I felt could use a little help and a little practice. So we'll be doing some challenges on this channel. So far, it's sort of working to go back in. And so it's my first time using this, and so it might take me a little bit to get the right finesse with it, where it looks like skin tone. Boy, I'm just putting down too much water. In Korean drama, I call this the Fist of Fury. If you've ever watched K-dramas, whenever they get mad, they scrunch up their fist. And so I always call it the Fist of Fury. Yeah, I have a love for K-drama. It's Korean soap opera, and I'm learning Korean slowly, a little too slowly. What are we gonna do with this background? Can't just leave it. I'm tempted to leave it because I'm really afraid to mess it up. You know, so the color when it's wet is definitely brighter. I'm getting a little sloppy again. I was just going back and adding some detail to this. I'm liking this so far. I could have been a little more careful with this. As I said, my patience for my art and wanting to see the finished product kind of drives me to push. So, especially with watercolors, that's not always a good thing. And as I said, I would have never thought about using a limited palette. I would have gone for many colors and something totally different. But when I saw how nice this sketch and wash reacted to water, I thought, hair. I'm gonna do hair with it. Right. See, I could fiddle all day long. I'm gonna try this on this side. I guess we're all in. I committed to it. I apologize. I lost a little bit of the video, the outlining with the graphic one Figma. So I apologize for that. Somehow the video dropped and I don't have that part. This was the July 2019 Artsnacks. We had the Pyrrole Scarlet, the Phthalo Blue, the General Sketch and Wash, the Princeton 8-round Aqua Elite. We had our sticker and we had our candy. And this is our swatching. All in all, I think it turned out really well. Overall, I like her. I guess we forgot to take the tape off. That's always a satisfying part of finishing your watercolor. It's always very satisfying, at least for me. And here is our finished art with our Artsnacks, July 2019. And if you enjoyed the content today, please like this video, and that will let me know that you want to see more of this content, more unboxings, maybe more art snacks. Overall, I feel like I, at least in this box, definitely got my value. I'm looking forward to the December 2019 box, and the video will be coming up in the next week or so to demonstrate the art supplies in that box. Again, if you want to catch the sketch portion of this project, watch the Huion LED light pad video that hopefully I'll be posting at the same time I post this one. Thank you for joining me. If you like this content, hit the button below and subscribe, and hit the notifications so you can catch next week's unboxings. I'll have several. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Ari, this is Shamelessly Creative. Now go out there and get creative.